happens so quietly you almost miss it. You're not speaking to them. You haven't seen them in what feels like forever. Yet their face, their name, their memory keeps coming back. Sometimes it's in the middle of your day. Sometimes it's in the quiet hours of night. You try to stay focused, but suddenly there they are again, uninvited, yet impossible to push away. And every time it happens, your heart whispers the same question. If I still can't let go of this person? Is Allah trying to tell me something? Or is it just my own heart refusing to move on? It's a confusing place to be, because nothing is happening on the outside. No calls, no messages, no contact of any kind. Yet inside it feels like you are carrying them everywhere you go. And that is a struggle many people never put into words. Does this constant remembering mean destiny is calling? Does it mean Qadr is pointing you back toward them? Or is it just your own nafs replaying what it once loved, even if Allah has already shut that door? So what does it mean when someone keeps returning to your thoughts with no contact at all? The mind has its own strange way of holding on, even when life has moved forward, even when months of silence have gone by. Some people come back into your thoughts as if a door was never fully closed. Sometimes it's because the story had no real ending, a proposal that was discussed but never completed, a bond that faded without an explanation, a friendship that slipped away without closure. Loose ends echo loudly in the heart, and the heart does not like unfinished stories. Other times, it's the tiniest triggers. A relative casually mentions their family. You walk down a street where you once met them. Even while making du'a for your future, their name flashes through your mind. And you find yourself asking, why them? Why now, after all this time? The truth is, the heart doesn't erase people like deleting a file from a phone. It carries footprints. Some disappear quickly, others remain for years. And when it's the ones that linger, that keep resurfacing, you start to wonder, is this a sign, or just me? But not every thought that returns is from Allah. Sometimes it's simply your own heart holding on to what it once desired, a product of the Nafs, not a message from heaven. The Nafs has a way of replaying the things it craved long after the door has been closed. Psychologists even have a term for this: memory loops. When a person is connected to strong emotions like love, hope, or heartbreak, the brain creates pathways that loop back to that memory again and again. That's why even after months, a name or face can suddenly flash in your thoughts. It's not fate pulling you back. It's your mind revisiting something it hasn't fully released. And when something ends without closure, that cycle is even stronger. A conversation left unfinished, a proposal that just dissolved, a connection that ended suddenly. The mind dislikes loose ends, so it keeps replaying them like a puzzle waiting to be solved. This is why assuming that every returning thought is a divine sign can be dangerous. More often than we admit, it's just our own nafs longing for what it lost or trying to find meaning in something that Allah had already decreed to end. But not every thought is just a trick of the ego. Sometimes Allah Himself allows a person to stay in your heart, and not always for the reason you expect. Sometimes the memory is there to guide you back to Him. A name lingers not so you run after it, but so you turn it into du'a, so you pray istikhara, so you stop leaning on just your emotions and start leaning on His wisdom. Other times, it's a test. Allah allows that person to remain in your thoughts to see where your heart will run. Will you hold on to them? Or will you hold on to Him? Will you let the memory distract you from worship? Or will you give the ache back to the one who turns hearts? And sometimes it's preparation. Allah allows the thought to stay, not because they are your future, but because He is using the experience to teach you patience, humility, and surrender. Sometimes He allows that name to echo in your mind, only to soften your heart before He writes someone even better for you. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said the hearts of all people are between the fingers of the Most Merciful, and He turns them as He wills. That means even the memories that resurface are never outside His control. But how do you tell the difference? When it's just your nafs clinging to what it wants, and when it's Allah guiding your heart? This is where the thoughts reveal something about you. When a person keeps returning to your mind, it often says more about you than about them. Thoughts are like a mirror. They show what is happening inside your own heart. If someone won't leave your mind, it might be showing you how tightly you hold on. Even when Allah has already closed that chapter, sometimes it exposes impatience. You are waiting for marriage, for companionship, for answers, and your mind fills the silence with a memory that once gave you hope. Sometimes it points to a wound you haven't fully healed, a pain you never surrendered to Allah. The person keeps reappearing not because they belong in your tomorrow, but because they represent a piece of your yesterday that is still alive in you. That is why these thoughts are powerful. They are not just about the person you are remembering. They are about the person you are becoming. They quietly ask, will you be a heart that clings to people, or a heart that learns to cling to Allah? And that's where the choice becomes clear, because every thought has two roads it can take. The first road is when the thought becomes a trap. It starts small, like a spark, but you keep feeding it until it grows into a fire. You scroll through their profile, you replay old messages in your head, you lose sleep, you lose focus, even your salah feels shallow because your heart is somewhere else. And every time you feed it, you feel more empty afterward. It's like drinking salt water. It promises to satisfy you, but only leaves you thirstier. That's when the nafs has taken over, turning a simple memory into poison. The second road is when the thought becomes a guide. Every time the memory appears, you don't chase it, you redirect it. You make a du'a, you pray istikhara. You ask Allah to reveal the truth of what your eyes cannot see. And instead of leaving you restless, it leaves you calmer, more patient, more willing to trust. It's like gentle rain falling on hard soil. It doesn't grow fruit immediately, but it softens the ground so Allah can plant what He wills next. The Prophet ﷺ gave us the measure for this moment. Consult your heart. Goodness is what brings peace, and sin is what leaves you unsettled. If the thought leaves you feeling guilty, distracted from Allah, weighed down, that's a sign it's a trap. But if it brings you to du'a, to patience, to quiet trust, that is guidance. So the real question isn't, why do I keep thinking of them? The real question is, what road will I let this thought take me down? And that's where Islam gives the solution. The first step is straightforward. Don't run after it. Don't let a passing thought push you into actions that lack wisdom. Don't convince yourself that because they keep appearing in your mind, you're meant to pursue them. That's exactly how the nafs ensnares you. Instead, shift the thought every time it returns. When their name crosses your mind, make it an act of worship. Turn it into a prayer. Ya Allah, If this person is good for my faith, my life, and my hereafter, then bring them to me in a way that is pleasing to you. And if they are not, then take them out of my heart with gentleness and replace them with what is better. In that instant, even your heartache becomes an offering. This is where true trust, tawakkul, takes its place. Tawakkul doesn't mean sitting idly and saying, if it's destined, it will happen. That is laziness, not reliance. Real tawakkul is walking with both legs. You do your part by taking the right steps, praying istikhara, seeking advice from people of knowledge, and then you let the result rest with Allah. You stop clinging, stop obsessing, stop forcing outcomes. You say, Ya Allah, I have done what I can. Now I leave the matter to what you have decreed, and that is the beauty of tawakkul. If they are written for you, Allah will open the way in the ways you never expected. If they are not, He will close the door and mend your heart in ways you could never manage on your own. Either way, you are protected. Either way, you are not left behind. So the next time their memory appears, don't ask why them. Instead, ask, what will I do with this moment? Will I let it pull me into unrest? Or will I use it as a signal to return my heart to Allah? What does it truly mean when someone keeps returning to your mind without contact? It doesn't necessarily mean they are your fate. It means Allah is testing where your heart will turn. He is seeing whether you let the thought take over or whether you use it as a reason to worship. That is where your comfort lies, remembering that your heart has not been ignored. Allah knows the name you whisper when no one else can hear. He knows the person you secretly miss. He knows the ache you carry in silence. And He has promised that nothing you entrust to Him is ever wasted. If this person is truly meant for you, Allah will bring them into your life in a way that is pure, halal, and blessed. If they are not, He will lift the burden from your chest and replace it with what is far better for your faith, your life, and your eternity. Either way, you are protected. Either way, you are held. So the next time their memory returns, don't fear it and don't chase it. Just turn it into a prayer. Ya Allah, if this person is good for me, bring them closer to me. If this message touched you, write that du'a in the comments and say Ameen for others. You never know whose prayer may be accepted because of yours. Until then, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.